welcome to this week's episode of Pickles and Pasta with
Steph and Jay.
We're getting good at this. I think we're getting good. I think the intros are getting better. They're not as crazy, crazy enough, but not too crazy. So that's good teamwork. Good suggestions from my darling Steph, and finding a good groove here. So welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. We absolutely really appreciate it. I can't even tell you like it's so sweet when people like message Steph or me or make a comment and it's I don't know, we're amazed every time that someone says, "Oh, I was just listening to you. Oh, I just heard it." And it's so sweet. Like really, I really appreciate it. Really, it's very sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool when small things resonate with people who actually talk to us fairly often. You know, to think that something we say in this podcast could resonate and give them pause to think about something that's happening in their life. I think that's really cool, and that's kind of what this is for.
Yeah, it is. It is nice. Like you don't know, right? When you do these things, you don't know. I mean, we kind of talked about it like the artist journey. This is kind of like it's not art, but it is art, like what we're doing, right? And we don't know. Like we're doing it. We're not looking, like we said this from the beginning. We're not looking to be the number one podcast in America or in anywhere. We're just doing this because people said, "Hey, you guys have interesting stories. You should share them." And so we're doing that. And hopefully we help people. Hopefully we inspire people a little bit or make them laugh or whatever for a couple minutes. So yeah, it's nice. It's nice when it actually works. It's nice. It's a good feeling. So we're back in New York, and snow is maybe, I don't know if it's going to melt or not. I don't know.
Maybe a little bit this week if it gets up into the 40s, maybe a tiny bit.
Yeah,
There's a lot of snow to melt.
There's a lot of snow to melt, and it's actually. I'm hoping I can kind of squeeze in some time to do this. Because as we were driving, I was seeing obviously you see the piles, and it's dirty, and it's some clear white spots which are beautiful still, but there's a lot of like dirty stuff. But there's like these incredible like almost sculptures that happen from the movement of the snow, like. And I just would love to like capture some of that. Like, I don't know if I'm going to have, hopefully I can kind of squeeze the time to go do it and just kind of go around and look at some of them and take some cool pictures. Cause I don't know, like we talked about this, right? Like that's the beauty of New York, right? Like you can just be inspired anywhere. And I'd love to kind of capture that before the snow goes bye-bye. I don't know why I have this like, it's weird. It's like a sad feeling that that this was it. Like there's no more snow this year, and I'm kind of a little sad. And I feel bad because I know nobody probably wants more snow after what we just had. Like I'm sure I'm really in the like micro minority here, but there's a part of me that just would really love
I have a feeling that we're probably going to get at least one more snow. Maybe not the snowstorm, and I really don't want that, but I think we're probably going to get a
minority here. I'm in the minority right here. Look, I promise. Don't worry. I'll be totally healthy and I'll shovel next time, 100%, no problem. But
if we're in New York, we don't have to shovel, so it's all good.
I'm. You know what? It's okay. I'm not going to get political, but I might volunteer.
Okay. Well.
But I'm not sure that I will. I would probably volunteer not. I'll find a way to be helpful. But let me rephrase that. I will find a way to be helpful to my fellow New Yorkers because I love my fellow New Yorkers, and I'm going to just leave it at that. I've done it. I mean, it's like I haven't done it. I've done it. I've done it like, you go sometimes, and for those of you who haven't lived in New York, like just visited New York, there's a lot of buildings and townhouses and brownstones and little buildings all around the city that, people have lived there for like a really, really long time. And like they bought them probably when they were certainly not as expensive as they are now. And they lived there and they could be old. Like there was that woman when I lived in Soho, there was this house that was just beautiful. It was like, I'm not going to say exactly what it is, but on the corner of two very cool streets. And you couldn't see in the house, but like you'd see like a whole big panel of windows, and all you saw was a garden. Like it was an indoor garden in there.
Oh yeah, I know what house you're talking about.
You know the house I'm talking about. Just gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous. And we had some kind of storm, and this woman, I mean, I don't know exactly how old she was, but she had to be in her 70s, if not 80s. And she was like shoveling a little bit. And I was walking by and I was like, can I give you a hand? Like, I couldn't, in good conscience, let her do that. And I'm not saying this like I'm some good Samaritan or anything. I'm not. It was just like, of course I'm going to help a fellow New Yorker, like whatever. Like if I can help her clear her street a little, because God forbid somebody falls, she's going to get her ass sued. So, she was there by herself. Of course I wouldn't have helped her do it. So I would do that. And I think it would be good for many of us to just do that to help. We're very fortunate that, we live in a building where they do clear it, which is great. But it's the responsibility of the businesses to do it. It's the responsibility of the buildings to do it. And yeah, I think if we get another big ass storm, I would jump in.
Cool.
I mean, but we would get that drink in a nice place because that's your fantasy, and I want to fulfill
It
all your
is
fantasies.
my dream.
Yeah, hopefully it'll happen. Look, I think you're probably right. I think we probably will get something.
Yeah.
I would just like a real.
February, we have a ways to go.
We've been waiting so long to have one and to be in the city when it happened, and to have it happen when we weren't in the city is just such a like.
I know.
Like it's such a like so close.
No.
Kind of like yeah. Anyway,
I'd still be here.
all right. Well, I guess we can just jump into our topics this week. I think we have some good ones. You and I have both run into this. I'm honestly in the midst of it with a few different situations. So the thing we were talking about or thinking about and want to share is people who ghost, and then those who are there that we don't even realize or embrace them enough, right? So like, what do I mean? Like we run into people, and I mean, I'm going to do my best not to go off. So if I do, Steph, like reel me back in, okay?
I'll try.
Like I do not like the ghosting. Like I don't know who decided that that was an okay thing, but you were wrong, and you need to come back and correct that error because it is not okay to ghost. Like it is just not okay on any stretch of the imagination. If you don't like someone did something that you don't like. If you don't want to be friends with them, if you don't want to do business with them anymore, it's fine. Send them a text, send them an email, call them, whatever. Just grow up, like, and just be straight about it. And and it made me think that when that happens, it's so annoying and it hurts. But then you look around and you're like, wow, that person's always there, or that person is always commenting, or that person is always checking in, or not even like checking in is maybe a bit much, but they're like always around. Like if I message them, they'll respond. If I reach out to them and say, hey, do you know somebody? They'll answer me. And it's interesting to me how like we gravitate towards these people that are basically not good people, and we keep trying. And I was just like, I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting thing about like what makes us do that. And I think again, I know not to always. I mean, obviously, maybe always because that's the theme of our show. Of in the creative world, we run into a lot of flaky people, unfortunately. And I don't know if maybe percentage wise we have more ghosters, but I don't know. I mean, Steph, you've run into it, right? Like where people just all of a sudden they disappear.
Yeah, I mean, just to get back into the ghosting topic and why we
Yeah,
gravitate to people who seem to not be giving us the attention that we want from them
yeah,
or any at all.
yeah.
And they were once maybe more in our lives
Right.
or more supportive, and then suddenly they're nowhere to be found. And
Yeah,
you feel like there's like this big wall up between you and them. And I think it's something related to our human nature that if someone is not giving us the attention that we crave or seek in some way, there's something about that hurts our ego. And I feel it's our ego that is really, pulling on them in a way and tagging at their shirt saying, hey, wait a minute. No, look at what I'm doing. And I think it's ego. I think it's our human nature. And I think also that, we are coming out of a period that has been here for a while where we are slowly shutting down those people that just don't serve us in any way. And And I think to your point about there then the people that are always there, I think it's just a time to realign, who's really in our circle and to maybe not care about the people who do the ghosting and don't pay attention and aren't there, and really to turn to the people who are always there and who are always supportive and coming to the things that we do and commenting on the things that we put out in the world. And I think it's just a time to realign.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I think that's valid. I mean, and I think you're right. Like it's a weird feeling. Like it's one thing if you reach out to somebody and they don't respond and you just didn't ever have a connection with them, right? Like that's one thing because that's like okay, it just never sparked. It did never happen. It's okay. I like them. I think they're cool, but they're not responding. I don't know them, so there's nothing to be upset about because they just don't know you and you don't know them, and that's the end of it. No big deal. But when you've had like meetings, good conversations, relationships. I'm not talking about forget about it. I'm not even touching like when guys and girls or girls and girls or guys and guys do that to each other in a relationship wise. Like if
Mhm.
there's like some sort of sexual thing and the person just disappears. Like that's a whole other level of like just not cool. Like that's just mean. That's just mean on a whole other level. This is really on a more of like a business or business friendship kind of space. And I just think we're affected because it like bruises our ego. You're like, well, wait, why don't you like me? Why? What did I do? Like, and I think it's a desire, like it's an inherent desire that I think many people have for closure. But if the person just gets back to you and says, hey, I know we were working together, but I've moved on. I really don't want to work with you anymore. I don't, you're going in one direction. It's okay. Please don't reach out to me anymore. If something comes up in the future, I'll reach out to you. No problem. Like at least you have closure, right? That's clear. It's very clear, but it's like you don't have the answer. You don't know what it is. Did I do something? Did it? And it kind of just ticks at you because you start second guessing. And look, you have enough confidence in yourself. I have reasonably enough confidence in myself to be like, screw them. But there's still that part of you that's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, and I just, yeah, just,
I mean, honestly, I think that there's a lot more at play in these situations.
for
Also,
sure.
I think right now, I think a lot of relationships, business, platonic, socio-economic, I think that there is a lot of identity politics happening. And I think that that is muddying up the waters, so to speak. I think people have gotten to a point where, just business wise, if you get along with someone business wise, that's cool. You don't necessarily know who they are, like politically, or really get to know them in a very personal way. But somehow it has slowly become a little bit more your politics is kind of becoming a little bit your identity too. And so I think if someone has an inkling that even if they don't, if they're wrong, a lot of people look at you and they think you must be liberal because you got the long hair and the John Lennon glasses and you wear the scarf. And right away they might pigeonhole you into a category that they feel that they wouldn't align with just based on how you look. I know for a fact that people have pigeonholed me as a certain type of person now. And I can feel that there is no desire to engage. And where it used to be, we used to be friends. And
Right.
now suddenly, with nothing having happened other than maybe hearsay, because I'm not someone that goes on social media and talks about politics a lot. I really refrain from that quite a bit. I think if you're really listening to the things I'm saying, you'll get a sense of really who I am and where I stand on things. But I think that there's a lot of putting people in categories, and people are cowards. It takes a very confident, someone with a lot of integrity to be like laid out on the table. Hey, I don't think we align. Not many people are going to come out and say that because
Yeah.
they're cowards.
Yeah. I mean, it's valid. Look, I've had to have hard conversations with people like about political stuff, but I've
Mhm.
done it. I'm not saying I'm so special. but it's like I don't want the gray area. Like I don't want it. Like somebody said something or posted something or someone told me that someone did something. It's not confrontation. It's just saying, "Hey, I'd like to have a conversation with you about something." And then if we have the conversation and then I'm like, "Okay, my inkling was correct or what they told me about you or what I read correctly." Then I could say, "Listen, we're not aligned anymore. Like I thought you were a certain way. It's okay. I don't agree with you, but it's okay. And I don't want to be friends with you anymore, or I don't want to work with you anymore." I mean, I had to do that with somebody, a very talented person, in my opinion. I can still give him credit for that. He is a talented person, but
Right.
we are so opposite in our thinking. He doesn't think so, but I mean, he does think so. Like he knows that we're opposite in many things, but he thinks maybe to your point that I'm probably a liberal and whatever. I don't even know what that fucking means, but whatever, that I'm going to get his side. I'm going to get there. And I'm like, I'm just not, I was very clear. This is it. And I don't engage with him anymore. He still sends me messages every once in a while, and good for him. But I've I've made it clear. I've made it very clear, and to each his own. I don't know why. I mean, I wish people could just kind of do that. Like I don't, and maybe you're right. Maybe they're just, I don't know. Maybe coward is maybe a strong word, and I agree. Many people are. I agree, but I think some people are just like they're just so
I stand
hesitant to
by
have
my word,
confidence.
Howard. I
No,
think
you should, darling. You should stand by your words. Stand by your words.
me too.
But I think some people are just like they're nervous. They're like they're afraid of confrontation. They're afraid of drama. They just be like, if I don't reply after a while, they'll get the hint. And I just think like that's like kindergarten stuff. When
It
you
is.
get to be an adult, whatever that means. Maybe people need to go back to kindergarten. Like maybe we should do that. Maybe we should start classes kindergarten for adults. Oh my God, that's it. That's it. That's it. I have cracked the egg. Oh
That
my
sounds
goodness,
fun.
that is our future. Forget about all this other stuff we're doing, saving the world, creating beautiful art, building a platform that's going to save the universe. Screw all that. We are going to start kindergarten for adults. I love it. Bring your toy to work day. Oh yeah, I'm cooking. All right. I think we have our future. I think this is it. This is it. This is it. We'll have to think of a cool name, but kindergarten for adults.
I mean,
KFA.
I think that certain people are very afraid that they will get labeled into a category that they will then be out. And
Okay.
I think that's really a thing with a lot of people.
Sure.
Clearly, we don't care about that because we do what we feel we need to do, and we're out here doing it and talking about it.
Yeah,
But
we're laying it out there. Yeah.
I do think that that's a thing. Like they are so quick to make a social commentary or a post that they're showing you where they are.
Yeah.
And I find that when people are doing that, they're trying to signal, I'm okay with this group and I want to stay in this group. I don't want to be outed into another group because then I'll be outcast and I won't have anyone to go out with and have fun with.
Yeah, listen, obviously, I mean, the guy with the long hair and apparently the purple scarf, like, doesn't really give a shit about what people think about me. I mean, clearly, I know. But look, as you're saying this, there's another part of me that's thinking, like, if you ghost someone, there's no finality. So they can always come back, right? If you have closure, there has to be a change to reopen. But if there's ghosting, I think in a lot of people's minds, they're like, I don't want to talk to them now. I don't want to deal with them now. But when this and this and this changes, I still want to have the opportunity to kind of get back in because if they end up doing that really cool thing, I'm going to want to go there and I'm going to want to hang out with them. And if I close the door with them, I have no chance. And I think there's a part of that. I think in addition to the cowardice, I think there's a little bit of like future FOMO.
Yeah, well, good luck because
Oh
honestly,
yeah, for me, when you ghost,
I,
you're
I
finished.
know who I know who is I know who's doing what. And
Yeah,
good luck trying to rekindle, because, integrity counts.
Yeah, they're going to have to get past me first, so there's a zero chance. But I mean, but if they think getting past me is going to be the easy part, they're in for a whole lot of pain if I let them go. I'm like, you know what? Go ahead, go ahead, go. Good luck.
See how
Yeah,
it goes.
but and I think just to kind of to wrap it up a little bit, like I also think it does make you think about like who is there and to really embrace it. And again, a lot of times there's people that are in there that are supportive, that it's very nice, but you're not like so perfectly aligned that you want to hang out with them all the time. But and I think that's fine too. But I think you do need to you really should be conscious of that, be appreciative of that, because those people are there and they see something in you, whatever that is, whether they think you're, maybe no business side, but they think you're funny or they think you're cool or they think you dress nice or whatever. That's something to be, that's, if you have that in your life, you're very lucky.
Oh,
And I think it's important to embrace, to really, you know, give either that person a hug or give that thing a hug. Like give that, yeah, like that's
love
great
it.
that you have that.
I
I
love
think,
it. I mean,
yeah.
even like doing these art workshops, which I just did one this past weekend. And, the people coming to them, they're random.
Yeah.
Some have been my good friends, some are people I don't know that well. And some people are complete strangers that come into my orbit.
Yes,
And
the man from Queens. We're not gonna call you out because we didn't ask your permission, but someone came all the way from Queens. Queens in the house. I
yep,
felt very comfortable. God bless him for driving all the way there. Amazing, and he was such a nice guy, like such a
yeah.
wonderful, great guy. It was such a pleasure meeting him.
But
Queens was in the house. Oh yeah,
Queens was in the house. But my point of this is that I am embracing this new, basically, community.
yeah,
That is just happening.
great, fantastic.
And I'm like, I'm here for it because I really do believe that a lot of communities are fragmenting right now.
Yeah,
am seeing it left and right. Families, people who used to be your friends, neighbors, it's fragmenting. And I am seeing the beginnings of putting together like a new community. I'm retargeting all these lovely people that are still like interested in the things I do and the things I talk about. And I'm embracing it.
yeah.
Like I love having a community of like-minded people around me.
I think it's great, and for those of you who haven't done, and I know we don't really use this to plug anything per se, but for those of you who haven't done the workshops, I really encourage you to do that. I don't do the workshops myself, but I'm obviously well aware of what goes on, and I do try to take some pictures and some images just so I see it, I feel it. I'm obviously there for the whole setup and the process and I have to tell you, forget about my affection and all that sort of stuff. I can tell you unequivocally that the people that do it, and I'm looking at them and I'm listening to them, they are enjoying this so much. They get so much pleasure. They really learn something. They really get something out of it for the 2 hours that they do. It's something that gives them memories. They walk away with whatever it is they were painting or doing. It's just tremendous. And I'm just putting it out there. New York City, we're coming for you. Manhattan, we're coming for you. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna find a way to do it here because I just know in my heart of hearts that people will love it, and it's just look, it's you spreading joy and
Have
teaching
some fun
people,
today.
and it's having some fun today with the art and everything else, and it's just yeah, it's definitely a very cool thing. So moving on to our other topic, which is basically somewhat connected, is the feeling of not knowing if the people around you like you or don't like you, and the mixed signals you get. And I think it's connected to what we're talking about for the
Yeah.
past few
Yeah.
minutes. Like you get into situations, you're like, oh wow, they really like me, and then you're like, shit, I don't think they like me. I don't know. It's interesting. I think like how there's a lot of people out there that I don't know what their reasoning is for acting a certain way in certain situations, but it's a weird feeling when you start to think twice. Like you're like, wow, they seem so nice, but I don't know. I don't think they like me, or I don't think they like what I'm doing, and you just kind of don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's a weird feeling.
Well, I do think it is connected to this whole thing that we're talking about. And, I definitely see it and feel it and experience it. It's about energy, you
Right.
know? This is very much an energy thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, as an artist, I feel energy very, very strongly. I feel when energy's off. I feel it when I'm around certain people and I can tell that they would rather I'm not there. And I can feel it when I'm around people who are there for me. Like it's such a clear feeling and it's a thing. I mean, I
It's
don't know what to say about it. I mean, it
no,
exists.
it's a thing. I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting. I think you're right. Like when you pick up on energy, when you're an empath of some level or another, and you're always not searching, but you're always seeing things. You're seeing an environment. Like I talked about, seeing the you know the sculptures in the snow, and you just kind of know, like you're gonna feel it, you pick up on it, and I think it's an interesting revelation, right? Like it's not life or death, it's not whatever, but it's an interesting revelation when you're in these rooms with people and you see them over and over again, or you're in a group with them, or you go to different events, whatever it is, and you're like, you think they like you, or you think they're aligned with you, and then you're like, huh, not so sure. It's just kind of a weird feeling. Like you just get these mixed signals, and I think it's interesting. Um,
Yeah, I mean, and I think that it is related to this whole identity politics thing. I mean,
like, do you think it changes? You mean?
well, I think it has changed. Like, for
Okay.
example, if you are part of a community and now all of a sudden half of those people are MAGA and half aren't. But you're still doing things because let's say it's a close situation. Let's say it's like family involvement or family and close friends. So something that a group you've been around for many, many years, so suddenly part of the group feels a certain way and another part of the group feels a different way. And you're in the midst of that. So
Right.
you're going to feel this energy because people are judging people for sure on
Yeah.
where they think they align,
Yeah.
what their identity is. And
Yeah.
I think it becomes more prevalent for someone like you and I because we're not just like going to a 9 to 5 and keeping our heads down. Like we're creating things out visibly in the public, in the world. So we are the target for people to aim at and be like, I don't really like, her politics, or I don't really like how she, does
Yeah.
things this
Yeah.
way. And so like, I feel that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, I think that's valid. I think sometimes it's not. I don't think it's just politics. I mean, I think that certainly has an impact. But there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that you and I both know that, like, separately from I know, and then you and I know together, that we're really not aligned with them on certain things, but we still are able to be like, look, you're not trying to kill me. I'm not trying to kill you. You think this is right. I think that's right. That's okay. Let's just kind of, we can put that aside where we can be, not with everybody, but luckily I think we have that with people that we're able to, like, you know what, we can put that on the side because as a person, I care about you. I care about your health. I care about your well-being. I like spending time with you when we talk about different things, about the universe, about whatever different things we talk about. We are connected, but there's these one or two things we can do that. I think that's okay. I don't think I'd say that's easier said than done because people get really emotional about this stuff. There is a difference between, like, I'm so diabolically opposed to you that I just can't. And there's like, okay, I don't really agree with that, but I do agree with you on a lot of other things, and I do really care about you in other ways. So we can kind of work through that sort of stuff. Look, I wish people would do that more. I think it would be great.
It's about, maturity and knowing how to conduct yourself with a reasonable amount of maturity and respect for other humans.
Yeah.
Like, If I'm talking about, a close group of people that I've known my whole life who now have diverged in their opinion on certain things, I'm not necessarily going to be like, okay, this relationship's over because you think that thing is right and I think another thing's right. Like, they can exist and I can still have a
Yeah.
close relationship
Yeah.
with some people as long as they are mutually respecting me. I mean,
Right.
if it's not that way, then okay, then maybe we do have to go
Right.
our
I think
ways.
if it's respect, if you can show mutual respect to one another, then I think you can solve a lot of things. I think that's true. Yeah. Yeah. It's fair. I think it also, though, I was thinking it, in other ways too. It's like they may not like your style. You think they do, and then you realize, wait, they really don't like my style, or they don't like my art, or they don't like my music, or they don't like the content that whatever it is you do. You think one thing, and then you just it starts to smell funny, and you start to think it's different. And I think it's a weird. I think it's weird. I don't know. I understand that not everybody's able to be fully transparent about stuff and have real conversations. I get that, but I don't know. I find that sometimes, like, I'm in a situation, I'm like, huh, wow, I really thought that was the person at this event I was going to hang out with because I really thought we got along, and they're like avoiding me like the plague. Like, okay, maybe I was mistaken. So,
I
yeah,
mean, honestly, I think it's good to know. It's good
yeah,
information.
I'd much rather know.
If I am now in a situation where I kind of have a pretty good idea that a certain person doesn't care for me or doesn't care for the work I do or whatever, I don't really give a shit.
I think right. I think it's just good to know.
Spend any of my energy, you know, around them.
Well, I think
Period.
people try to do that, right? They go the other way. They're like, they don't like me. I've got to work harder to make them like me. And I think you and I, one of the many places where we're on the same page, we're like, okay, like it'd be nice to know, right? It'd be nice to know what or why, so I can learn from the experience.
People do
Yeah,
not have the courage or the integrity to be
yeah,
like, yeah, this is what happened, you know, have a good life.
yeah. It's unfortunate because I think more often than not, when you do have the conversation, a lot of times there's misunderstandings. A
Hmm.
lot of times there's a
I
miscommunication.
I'm sure that has happened
We've both experienced
all the
that.
time.
We've,
Yeah.
we've both experienced that where they're like, oh, what they thought I did this, I wasn't even there. Like I didn't have anything to do with that. Like, and that's what they think. And now, okay, now I understand why this happened. But yeah, I hear you.
And that's why I say if someone has a narrative around you, they're gonna keep it until
Yeah, yeah,
something happens.
yeah. That's
So
fair.
have fun with it.
That's not what we mean when we say have some fun today. But yes, that's enjoy yourself. Yeah, if that's what makes you happy, God bless you. Yeah, I hear you.
We have both done enough work on ourselves and individually and together that you don't want to be in our orbit.
It's all good. Yeah, it's all good. It's a big universe. It's a big universe. Yeah.
There are
So
plenty of people who do,
yes, yes, and growing. So we're
and I
we're good.
need my energy to give to that,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's turning into something really cool.
yeah. Absolutely. No, I totally agree. Very cool. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad we were able to I'm glad we were able to talk that through. I think that was it was helpful for me. I hope it was helpful for everybody else that's tuned in.
It happens to everybody,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah. I think that's true. Well, I think. Let me see what time it is. So, oh, it's rapid fire time. Rapid fire. I know that's not our rapid fire theme song, but I just dance. I'm the kid who danced in the corner by
Well, you
himself.
literally turn into a 13-year-old boy when these little
Yeah, yeah.
segments.
But listen. I did that back in the day. Like
You
many
do.
times throughout history, I have been that person who is just dancing by myself. And if people want to dance with me, that's cool. And if they don't want, I really just don't care. Like if I'm feeling the groove, I'm grooving. So I'm grooving. All right, are you ready? Are you ready for so just so you'll see when we start to ask these questions in a second. Fashion Week is about to start here in New York, and so these things just kind of popped into our heads as some cute little rapid fire questions. There's a little bit of fashion theme here, and I'll leave it at that. And here we go. Rapid fire question number one: at what temperature do you feel it's okay to dress a little lighter? And just for context, for those of you not in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Northeast, it's been teens and lower for the past few weeks. So, and I think in Canada, it's been just as bad, if not worse. And so we've been dealing with some very, very cold temperatures. And this week, getting up to a little bit more reasonable. So, at what temperature do you feel it's okay to kind of tap it down a little bit on how you dress?
I would go with 60. When it
Wow.
when it hits 60, I'm thinking light jacket and not a coat anymore. And that's kind of always like I have that number, like what's going to be 60, you know? So
Well, well, one of your nieces, I remember a number of years ago, it was 50 degrees, and she put on shorts, and she was like, something like, if you're from Pennsylvania and it's 50 degrees, it's shorts weather. And I was like, you're insane, but okay. So 60. All right. You'll hear my answer when we get to me. Okay. Next question. Uh, Near or medium future fashion prediction, men or women? Like where you feel fashion is going, men or women, near or medium term,
that can go so many different ways. Honestly, people have
wherever you want to go.
for me personally, I feel that fashion is going more tailored
Okay.
and more attention to detail. I
Okay.
see a stronger shoulder.
For
I
women.
Yes, I see more of a little bit of a menswear power suit kind of vibe, shoulder
Okay.
pads, tailoring, and definitely a mix of vintage in there.
Okay.
So a nod to quality and to the designers that really knew the craft. And
Okay.
so that's kind of where I see women's fashion
Okay.
coming.
Okay.
And for men, I think that men are going to start to dress nicer again, a little bit more tailoring, a little bit less sloppiness. I'd like to see when people travel, do air travel, to be a little bit more tailored and a little more self-respect. And that's just what I'm thinking.
I'm all for it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I think fashion is
Okay.
going to next.
Okay. And last question. A time in fashion history you wish existed today, even if it was just for a cameo appearance.
I love the 70s. I was a little
You could
girl.
go further back if you want to. You can go
Oh,
all the
I
way back.
know, I know. And but I'm going to go with the 70s just because like I feel that that is a little bit what I'm talking about. Like
You're talking about bell bottoms and collars that go all the way out to here.
I'm not so much talking about the bell bottoms. I'm talking about the suits, like the
Okay.
tailoring, cinched waists, shoulders, velvet
Wasn't
suit.
that more 80s?
No, no, 80s is very different. The 70s had like low cut, you know, blouses,
Yeah.
unbuttoned down, a lot of jewelry. Like it was like funky, but it was tailored. And I like that.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So your turn. Okay. So Jay, at what temperature do you feel it's okay to dress lighter?
So I'm very surprised that you went with 60. So I had to go out earlier for a little bit, and I only had one sweater and a sweatshirt and my coat. So I dressed already down today because it's in the 30s. I know it's crazy talk, right?
It
Because
is.
it's in the 30s as opposed to in the teens when I had two or three sweaters, and then a sweatshirt and then a coat. So I'm seeing, okay, get a little insight into my cuckoo-ness. So I purposely go on the edge to avoid getting a cold or getting sick. So I'll purposely, and I try to adjust myself. So when it's hot, I don't let myself get into the short sleeve weather too early because I don't want to go too far over. And when it gets cold, I try to toughen myself up early. Like when it's fall and it goes into winter, I don't immediately go to heavy dressing because I'm like, no, you got to get your body ready. And if you just go in too early, it's going to be painful when it gets worse. So I'm kind of trying to do the same thing. Like I don't want to go too low. I probably could have used that second sweater today, but so I think when it goes in like that 40s, 50, it starts to shift from like the coldest to the yeah. So
Okay.
30s, 40s is when I start to think a little bit more that way.
Okay. Future fashion prediction, men or women?
I'll do a little glaze, little touching on the women, but I'll focus more on the men. So I think for women, there's going to be somewhat of a high end sort of vibe into the very casual feel that's there. And we were at an event last night, which was a somewhat serious event, and some of the girls there were dressed like super casual, like almost guy dressing, looking like a very baggy pant and a sneaker, and the girl had a ski hat on, like very like that sort of vibe. I think that's going to transition, but it's not going to go like hard transition. I think there's going to be a little bit more polishing, but there's still going to be this desire to be very sexy. I think it's going to shift a little bit in that direction. That's what I think for girls. For guys, similarly, in that I think the casual thing is staying, but a bit more buttoned up. Like not the like there's a level of sloppy casual,
Yeah.
and then there's a level of casual confidence. And I'm seeing more the casual confidence and not the sloppiness. Like a little bit of pushing, a little bit wanting to impress people, not impress like in that negative way, but wanting to be like, yep, I got my shit together. You know, that sort of feeling in guys. That's what I think is coming.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good. Um, a time in fashion history you wish existed today.
We're going backwards, just to be clear, because I have my vision for the future of what I wish. But I'm a little torn between like 50s ish, early 60s, not like total hippie 60s, although I think that's really cool. I'm fine. That like elegance, but cool. Like I think that 50s and 50 like into 60s was like you're dressing really sharp, but you're like cool.
Like
As opposed
mod.
to yeah, like a little bit of that. And then there's a part of me that goes biblical, like like wearing just
A
like
caftan.
there's no well for men like
Okay. Because I'm
like
all about the caftan. I want
I
to
know
be.
you are. I know you are. I know you are. And look, there's a lot of advantage to the captain. I'm not going to get there because your mom might be listening. So, but something about like that robe kind of feeling of that,
Can
you
you
know,
imagine people walking around with like robes?
I'm like the vision in my head is like, like the Exodus from Egypt and like Moses and like, the white thing and, and being in the desert and feeling that sort of vibe. Like there's something very, very cool about that. Like that would be fucking so cool. Imagine me dressing like that, going in to get my bagel. Amazing.
I need my cloak.
It's just amazing. And, give me like a cane, like a rod, like I don't know. I just think there's something about that would,
Bagels in your pocket of your robe.
well, we'll have pockets. We'll have pockets.
They'll be
Well,
big ones. You could carry a lot of those things.
I'm telling you, it just I don't know. There's just something like it feels. There's something very freeing about it, right? Like you're basically.
Because you
It's
don't
very,
need to wear any undergarments under those big robes.
well, you're supposed to though. You're supposed to. You don't want to. It's for many reasons you're supposed to, but it's a very different kind of feeling. It's just I don't know. I just think it would be cool. I'm just saying. I mean, not forever, but I think it would be neat. I think it would be neat. Mix that up a little bit. You have somebody dressing like in tight jeans, and then you got somebody in like a robe. Just walking down the street. I think it would be so cool. I make myself laugh. Anyway, okay. Well, that was fun. I mean, it was fun for me. I hope it was fun for everybody else.
It was fun, Jay.
Was it fun for you? No, no. Come on. See
No,
now.
because you say it was fun, and like I don't know if am I supposed to say it was fun too. Like it was fun. I don't need to say it was fun. Of course, it was fun.
No, okay, no, good. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. That's good. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's check. Okay, good. All right. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Keep sending us comments and and tell your friends and tell your neighbors, tell your dog. Just tune in.
Or your dog
Yes, we want as many dog listeners as we can get.
and cat.
And yeah, that's not a no. That's fine. Sure, if you want. Anyway, thank you very much, and we will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you.
Stay warm.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Stay warm. Yeah.